Are you a social media manager overwhelmed by the process of onboarding a new client? Then you're not alone. In today's video, I'm going to break down step by step from the moment you sign a new client all the way till the moment you can get them started on social media, okay? So it will be easy for you to take on new clients and have no extra stress taking care of your current clients. Now stay all the way till the end if you want to learn how to never ever chase client payments ever again, okay? My name is Mail and I own a multi-six-figure social media management agency, and I now help social media managers do the same. If you are new here and you haven't downloaded my free roadmap to becoming a six-figure social media manager yet, then make sure you do so in the description below. Now let's get started. Now before we dive into the step-by-step workflow that we use in my multi-six-figure agency, I want to point out that our onboarding process is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks long, okay, to go through this entire process that I'm going to share with you. Another great detail is that we only onboard clients on the first of each month. This keeps it very structured and organized, and this is the way to do it if you want to implement a workflow and the process that I'm sharing with you today, okay? As a beginner social media manager, I used to onboard clients at any date of the month. Whenever they signed, we would start onboarding them, and that's really a no-go, and I do know that a lot of social media managers do that, so just so you know. And just to give you an example, let's say we sign a client on the May 15th, then we would start onboarding the client June 1st, okay? So even though they sign, they pay their invoice, right, to get started and reserve their spot, we do not onboard them until the first of each month. Now, the very first thing we do to onboard a client is to gather information. There are 2 ways you can do this, and we actually use both ways. The first thing is a onboarding questionnaire. We send an onboarding questionnaire to all of our clients that gathers information. It will include their name, their address, phone numbers, branding guidelines that they can upload inside the form, a previous strategy they may have had, content calendars, Dropbox folders, content folders that they want to share with us that we can use. And those are all things that are included in the onboarding questionnaire. Now, outside of that, we have an actual onboarding call. Now, on the call, we'll actually make sure they filled everything out, so we have everything from them, and gather their login credentials to their social media. We make sure that on the onboarding call, we actually log into their accounts. It's the very first thing we do. Most accounts have 2-factor authorization, and it's very messy if you don't do it on the phone with the client, okay? Because then you're going to go back and forth about the codes, trying to get in. So this is something we do on the onboarding call. Now, the second thing we do on the onboarding call is walk them through a questionnaire that dives deep into their business, their audience, their pain points, what they're looking to achieve on social media, things that we need to know in order for me to create the social media strategy for them, okay? So again, you will send them the questionnaire form to fill out in their own time, and then the questionnaire that we go over in the actual call is separate. We do send it to them beforehand, just so they know what we're talking about. And then we'll go over all this information on the actual onboarding call. Now, if you're a brand new social media manager still looking to get clients, then make sure you check out my video where I share how to get social media management clients with absolutely no experience. Now, the second thing we do to onboard a client is to set up their workspaces. There are 3 workspaces that we create for clients with different purposes. The first workspace is inside our project management tool, ClickUp. Inside of ClickUp, we do all content calendars, revisions. We have all the information from the client on file, their resources, links to their content banks, etc. The project gets managed on ClickUp, so each client has their own workspace. As you can see here, this is what that would look like. Now, the second workspace we create for them is actually inside of Slack. This is our communication channel where we have a workspace with each client and our team in there to communicate. Of course, we still use email as a communication channel for important things, to have them on record and communicate with them, but Slack is great for the day-to-day conversation with clients, or if they need anything from us, to have a chance to contact us outside of email. Now, the third workspace we create is for all the creative assets, and that is inside of Canva. Every client has their own folders and workspace inside of our Canva, where we set up, first of all, their brand kit based on their branding guidelines. So we have all their branding on file inside of Canva, because we do work in Canva for creatives. And then inside of that folder, we have social media templates. They're designed by our designer during this process. And the second one would be for any assets or stories, and they're all organized within their workspace. So this way, any of our team members can just go into that folder and they know exactly where to work on each client. So there are 3 workspaces that you will create for a client in the onboarding process to make sure that you have everything. So to wrap it up, it's the project management tool, and this can be any tool of your preference. Slack communication tool, it is optional, but I highly recommend it. And the third tool is Canva, where we set up a workspace. Now, the third thing we do to onboard a client is setting up their accounts in a social media management tool. Now, while I did mention to you that we do all revisions and content calendars inside of ClickUp, our project management tool, we will still connect them to a social media management tool for their analytics. Our personal preference is Agora Pulse, social media scheduler. But there are some tedious tasks that come along with connecting an account to a social media scheduler. So in order for you to connect your client's account to a third-party social media scheduler, you would need to be the admin of, let's say you're managing an Instagram, you would need to be the admin of the Facebook page that is connected to their Instagram, okay? So the client would have to make you an admin. If they don't have a page connected, you could create a page, or they could make that connection and again, make you an admin. So that way you can hook them up to a social media scheduler. And this is different for every platform, but you need some type of login information or admin access to the account in order to connect them. So again, it's a very tedious task, but very important, because otherwise you cannot schedule content if you do happen to schedule and publish content like that, and you cannot track their insights and analytics. Of course, you can track insights of the platform, but it is very important to have a full overview of their insights and share it with them, share reports with them on a monthly basis. Now, outside of the social media scheduler, the only other software you may use, again, it's optional, but for us personally, we use ManyChat. ManyChat is an automation software for Facebook, Instagram, and it's a great way to strategically set up keywords that trigger messages inside of Instagram and Facebook accounts. But again, this is connected to an account, so you would either need to set up a ManyChat account through their Facebook page, or they can give you their login info, make you an admin of their ManyChat account, so that you can manage the connection that is going on their social media accounts. Now, if you haven't downloaded my free roadmap to becoming a 6-figure social media manager yet, make sure you do so. It's in the description below. Now, following these 3 steps I just went over, I know it included a lot of information, but you will now have everything to start on the content creation process for a client, okay? So if you follow this step by step, you will be ready to start creating content with the team and send it over for approval with a client. But this would complete your onboarding process to have everything in place to start managing the client, start getting things ready for them, and they should be fully set up in your system. Now, if you haven't noticed, one thing I did not cover is payment. So we don't start onboarding a client until they sign the contract and pay their invoice. Now, of course, there are many different ways that you can set up payments. We personally use Dubsado, so the contract and invoice are tied together inside of Dubsado. And then what happens is that they are automatically on auto pay. Now, if you want to stop chasing clients for payments, you need to put them on auto pay. There are a couple different ways that you can do this. You can use software like Wave, Honeybook, QuickBooks, Dubsado, like I mentioned, and you can get automatic payments on clients. This way they always pay on time and it doesn't disrupt services with you if you have to chase them for payments, okay? Another thing you can do is get a credit card authorization form signed by a client and process their payments on the day that they're supposed to pay through software, again, like Wave, Honeybook, or QuickBooks itself, okay? So again, if you want to stop chasing clients for payments, this is a must step. Now this completes the onboarding step-by-step video for today. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure you comment below, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with your friends, DM me on Instagram so that I know you found this helpful and I can create more videos like this just for you. And I will see you guys next week.